so we can go back.
I'm using Chrome also. But sometimes I get the password message and sometimes I get the forbidden message. So I'm going to try it on Edge here.
All right, go ahead and stop your share.
Oh,
And
yes,
then, Bob, if you want to share your screen so I can.
Yeah, let me expand and then stop my share. Let me figure out how to do that. Stop share. Yes, I did.
All right, so Bob, I'll show that you had logged in last on the 6th of June. And I can reset your password. That's not a problem.
Yeah, retry that. Maybe I changed the password. I don't, according to my Chrome, I hadn't, but change it back to Cisco 123.
It's going to be all lowercase, okay?
Right.
Okay, I just did. Anybody else on the that's here now? Any issues getting into Net Labs?
I'm good.
Is that you, Michael? I think I
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good. I think you can hear me. I don't know if I'm mic on mute. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm good. I'm
okay.
good with NetLabs. Yeah,
Okay, I
and-
just got in
Okay.
on.
This is Mr. Basham. I have forgotten my username.
Okay.
and Brian, you fixed my problem. I'm good now.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Tom, it's going to be your Stanley email, and I'll put it in the. It's your full email address is your username. But I'm going to put it here so you have it. Then.
All right, I couldn't remember my 4-digit code.
That's fine. I understand. Trust me, numbers start running together. Does with me.
I've been trying to back up all my files because I'm transitioning from one school to another school in the fall of the year, and I have backed up a lot of my emails and archived them.
So I'm gonna reset your password back to Cisco 123 also, all lowercase.
Okay, I appreciate that. Because I was trying to get in there and work on some labs or schedule some labs.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep. All right, so we're almost at 4 o'clock. Last week, what covered modules 1 and 2? Is that correct? Enlighten me. Where do we need to? I know modules 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3 are due this Wednesday.
Yeah, last week I think they went through the NetLab, so they finished the whole first section and up to the exam.
Yeah, we went through 1, 2, 3. I think we did the whole thing.
The whole thing. So they
Yeah, I
finished.
went through module 3.
Okay. All right. So well, then then today, Kelly and Michael, they're actually at Cisco Live. I think Kelly's going to try to join from Las Vegas. That's where Cisco Live is today, or this time this year. So he may jump in here, but let's just use today as troubleshooting then. So Michael, you got yours fixed. Lazar, you got yours. Tom, you should please try to log in. Any issues? Is it a packet tracer that I can go back over to help understand? Is it NetLabs? As the exam, want to make sure the exam's turned on for everyone.
How many times do you have to take it? He said 12. I did it already. I did good, but I think I want to do better. So I'm not sure.
You get up.
He said up to 10 times you can.
I think
10
it's up to
times?
10
Okay.
times.
And it'll take the top 10? Okay, good.
Is it
Yeah.
time?
Yes, it is time.
Yes, it's 3 hours. You got plenty of time. to do it.
Kelly is in, but I think he's muted.
Oh yeah, he's walking around.
But for those who haven't taken the test, if you really review those in the chapters, module questions, they're pretty similar, sort of, kind of.
Yep. So yes, that is correct. And All right, well, it's just Kelly. Can you hear me? I see you walking around. Yes. Okay.
I was muted.
Yeah, you were muted.
I had unmuted myself, then it got muted. So here we are, folks, at Cisco Live. Give you an idea. This is an area called Capture the Flag, where you can go in and do capture the flag activities. They do have coffee and drinks, so it's just got done with lunch. And over here is an area we do walk-in labs, which basically you can decide you want to do a lab on almost any topic, which is really cool. Anything from DNA center to, CCNA stuff, but most of it's more towards advanced topics. Back in the very back, you'll see the DevNet zone back there. And some guys here behind me. But this is really just one little small part of Cisco Live. So I walked through the village a while ago and looked at some different stuff. Red Hat's here. We've got IP Fabric, just all kind of different groups. And I went to some sessions this morning. I've actually been to a session on, let me do this real quick. Turn it back around here a second. I went to a session on factories. So how to do like factory design for IoT devices. And one of the cool things is like on here, this particular thing, they show types of equipment we don't get a chance to see. So like factory hardened switches, which are designed to be in a factory environment, or firewalls and things that are supposed to be on a pole. So really kind of cool. If you ever get a chance to go to Cisco Live, you need to go, because it's well worth the money. It's very expensive, but it is definitely worth the money because of what you can see. Now, I will tell you, the first year, this being the first year it's back being in person, I can tell there's not quite as many vendors as normal, but it's still, there's a good number of vendors. So had a really cool thing over here. They had an autonomous driving car that they've been working on. So like I said, you may have heard of a little company called Red Hat.
Yeah.
Leviathan. Vertive's here, Brian. I hadn't talked to them yet, but they're here. So just all kind of neat stuff. There's a Tesla. Oh, check this out. There's a Tesla. So I got it in the picture. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
yeah. So kind of cool. But, oh, this is neat. Some kind of mission control. They're talking about deep space stuff. So basically it's WebEx and looking at things, but that's kind of neat. So there's all kind of neat stuff here at Cisco Live. A lot of learning going on. I am taking a CCNP exam in 2 days, so I just bought another study guide to study for it. Y'all have any questions? Anything you want to see in particular?
The Tesla phone.
Yeah, I have not seen that. Have not seen that. Now here's some kind of, I don't know what that is, mobile office. But this is really, really cool. Like I said, it's a neat, there's a whole Meraki area, which you don't want my opinion of Meraki equipment.
no.
I'm not a big fan. I don't think it's ready for prime time, but that's just me. Now their wireless gear is awesome. Their switches and things, not so much. We've had nothing but trouble with them. So, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Still hear me? Okay. Anybody else got any questions? Like I said, it's just I'm walking around, goofing off in the vendor area right now. I've got a little bit of time between sessions, and then I'm gonna probably go do a lab and try to. But like I said, this. I will show you this because this is really cool. Cisco brings in all the areas of Cisco. They bring in an area where they showcase their technologies. So, like right here, you can see talking about industrials, Internet of Things. They're looking at healthcare and things. This is where I really learned a great deal about the different pieces of equipment they have that are designed for factories. those types of things. But we've got over here automations. They've got all types of, like, here's a Cisco 9300 series switch. So Cisco 9300 series switches, 94s, 98s. But basically all of Cisco's different types of equipment. Like here's what I was talking about with the rugged manufacturing equipment. This is a Cisco switch, sorry fellas, designed to be put into a factory environment. So notice the heat right here. It's designed to dissipate heat. So it's basically a set of heat vanes so that you don't have to have any type of cooling that is from a fan. Because what would happen if you put a fan on a device that was on an industrial floor? Any idea?
I get dust in them and stuff.
Get all kind of dust in them. So these things are designed to run without fans.
Wow.
So they're designed as that. And so there's all different types of what are called rugged series switches. And they're designed to run in that type of environment, which is really cool. Again, they've got them, and that's something I never even knew existed. I had no clue that this type of thing existed, but they are designed to do exactly that. And then they've got what's called, this is actually a industrial design for a network that Cisco has set up, and how you can, I went to a special or a session on factory network design and how IoT devices are, and then you put the IoT devices in here, and of course you got to worry about delay and those types of things because you got PLCs and robots and all this connected to these Cisco IE3400s, which is basically one of these right here. So your devices that are running PLCs can be connected into these. And you'll notice also they're even designed to run off of DC power because your shop floor may have DC power. Then over here, I'm going to go around the back way, I believe. And then I'll cut y'all loose because I know y'all got to actually do some, no, can't go that way. Y'all got to actually do some work. But let me show you real quickly here. You want to see something cool? They've got a Cisco access point that is being water running all over it. So it's actually powered on running, but it's designed to be outside and to handle that type of environment. So really some things that you don't think about. I'm sorry, sir. And you don't think about it. You don't think about how they're designing particular devices for those types of environments because we don't work in them. But one of the biggest things you're going to start seeing is we're going to start seeing automation inside of the factories and those things, and replacing the factories. So pretty cool. They've got all these different areas for looking at security, looking at IoT, mobility, everything. So
Where are you at? Which resort are you at?
we are in Mandalay Bay. This is where this is at. It's the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. So we're staying at the Alara Grand Vacations, which is, this is something that's really neat because I'm actually having to study this for CCNP. But with DNA spaces and the correct access points and certain types of items on your access points, you can actually get to within 1 meter of specification of where somebody is in a business. So it's getting to that minority report type thing where you can walk around, and as you go to a different area, they know who you are and what you are, and they'll send you ads for where you're at in a particular store. So that's all being kind of pushed by the DNA spaces. So any questions?
Do you know how many access points they have deployed in there to do that triangulation?
Yes, actually, the access points, they for like within 5 meters, they can do, I think with 5 meters, you just need 3 access points, but then you got to actually put in location services inside of them to
How
get
many
down to.
Who is Cisco sponsoring? Do they have all the wireless for everything? I'm assuming. And the Dream Team.
Yeah, the Dream Team's here somewhere. I don't know where, but they're in here, probably in the back over here somewhere. But typically oh, here it is. I'll take it back over here to it. Yeah, they're over here in the NOC. I'll go show you the NOC itself. So give me just a second and I will show you that because that's cool. But every year the Cisco Academy actually asks for schools to send in nominations for up to, I think, 12 students who are over 21 years old. Those students get to come to Cisco as part of the Dream Team, and then the Dream Team helps to set up the network. And so right now, this is the network that is supporting everything inside of Cisco Live. So you can see the racks over there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so there's currently 14,811 total wireless clients on the network. So pretty neat.
Well, don't work too hard.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna try not to anyway. All right, everybody, y'all take care. Have a great day. Seeing everyone. Sorry, we're away, but we will catch up with you as soon as we can.
All right, be careful.
Bye. Bye.
All right, so kind of hard to hear some when he was talking about the academies each year. Once you get certified or instructor, you'll start getting emails from Cisco directly asking if you have just a wonderful student who you would recommend to be on the Cisco Dream Team. That Dream Team is awesome. Like you said, they pay, it's an all expense paid trip. I think they go a week before Cisco Live, and I think they're a week after. They set up the network, they monitor and basically run the network with engineers and, for the entire Cisco Live, and basically the support section of it. And it's a great experience. Luckily, I've been to Cisco Live quite a few times. I just couldn't go this year, unfortunately, which works out. Kelly and Michael's there, and I get to hang back and be at the house, and I'm okay with that. All right. Earlier, we were working on issues. Anybody that had any problems logging in? Still quite a few that have not logged in to NetLabs. Anybody on this call, please verify that you can log into NetLabs. Can
I ask a question?
Yep.
Going through the coursework, I don't see any assignments for chapter 5 or 6. Am I missing something? It goes 4 to 7 and then 9.
Yeah, so chapter 5 and 6 doesn't really have content labs per se. Actually, I'll just go into content and look it up. Let's see. All right, so chapter 5 is number systems, where it gets into binary, binary numbering system, and then 6 is
networking, I believe, right? Let me see. I think it's the data layer.
Yeah, data link. So it's
The data link layer, yeah.
the MAC address, basically the MAC address of the data link sublink layer. And there's really not a lab that would kind of pertain, or even a packet tracer, because the stuff you do with 5 and 6, when you work with networks, 5 is really the area you're going to bring in the binary IPv4, IPv6 addresses, and a majority of that is just going to be you working through the activities of doing binary to decimal conversions and reverse, and then the IP addressing, class A, class B, class C addressing, and then sub-addressing on that, and then it gets into hexadecimal, which isn't really for 5 and 6 really not a lot of stuff to do. Outside of that, it's still a long module, because it's instead of 3 modules, it's 4, 5, and 6, and 7 this time. So 4 has quite a few. Well, it has 3 packet traces or 4. No, 3 packet traces in one lab, and then 7 has 3 labs, looks like, and no packet traces. So it's you'll have plenty to do. I'll leave it like that. It's just nothing to turn into
Okay,
us.
thank you. I just was wondering if I was missing something.
It's
Thank you.
correct.
Hey, and this is Lorraine. I am still working on module 2.
Okay.
I did link SCC Net Labs. It's not telling me to log in, but my name is there, like maybe I am.
All right. Let's see. All right. So L. Joe
Jonathan.
Donison 7454@sec.stanley.edu. That'll be your username.
But where do I get to it? I'm clicked on it.
Okay. Well, it's you go to netlabs.stanley.edu. Okay. And then once you log in, you'll need to use this full email address, and then it's Cisco 123.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
One more question. I'm going to the stanley.edu site, and under grades, I don't see my grades.
Okay.
I'm assuming
This
you all see my work, right?
you won't. You won't. The only thing you do in Canvas, our canvas.stanley, is just basically an introduction assignment. From there, you do everything else in the course. Either all your submissions go to through the netacad.com course, or you're working in the actual physical lab of netlabs.stanley.edu.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. History.
Hey, Brian.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get into NetLabs. Apologies, I haven't tried yet. What is the password? I think you said that there was a general one or a generic one. Is that right?
It's Cisco 123, all lowercase.
Okay, and then change it, right?
Yeah. And let's see, Ernie, I don't know who history is. History to everyone.
Well, for whatever reason, my name is Vic Tuttle. Why it's calling me history, I was looking at it going, who's H? I have no idea why it's doing that.
Okay.
Why this session and not others. But yeah, I've got something going on with a redirect. I've had that problem with my school systems network.
Okay.
But I've never, but yeah, now it's happening at home and at school, and I'm really getting behind.
Okay. If you don't mind sharing your screen, share your screen so I can see what problem.
Okay, let me see what I can do here.
While he's sharing that, Martha, I'm looking at yours. Let's see. Yours should be mdunn7396@sec.stanley.edu.
Yeah, I was just able to log in.
Okay.
Hi, Brian.
Go ahead.
Yeah, having NetLab login issues here as well. I was able to do it once before and set a password. Today it's not one to behave.
All right. All right, so I've got you listed as Bradford Barclay. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right, I'll reset your password back to Cisco 123, all lowercase. And when you log in, it will prompt you to change the password again.
Okay.
And Brian, I just had a real quick question. I logged in also. This is Devaun McFarland speaking. Should I change my email, or I just changed my password? But do you want to?
We will not email you from our NetLab system. So that's up to you. It is an easy way for us down the road, if we want to send you some content information, if we have another grant or anything like that we may want to add instructors to. It's good resource for us. You don't have to put in there, but that's totally up to you.
No problem. Thank you. Perfect.
All right, were you able to share your screen?
Yeah, but it's, well, let's see. I'm getting the chat room screen here. Hold on. I'm trying to share the right screen. I can tell you just to articulate what's going on. On the NetAcad course, it gives me invalid session.
Okay, so that one will be, you need to log in to netacad.com and then open the course content. And literally where you have to, while you're doing that, I'll share mine. You literally have to go into the course content. So go to the course content, and then once you've opened that and you go to download packet tracer, you won't get that error downloading the packet tracer or anything like that. You just can't use that link that's in the Canvas course. Like if I go to 4.6.5, you couldn't just go to that and select that without going into the course content first. But once you're in the course content, you've got it pulled up, then you should be able to hit that and it'll open directly to that page that you're wanting to work on, which packet tracer you're wanting to work on. Was that what you were explaining?
Well, let's see. I mean, I've got packet tracers functioning fine. That's not an issue. It's loading the course content for each module. When I try to do that, even for the early ones, module 1, I get a invalid session.
That could be a timeout. What browser are you using?
I was working on this at work with summer school, and then I just, I got on home because I wasn't getting anything going on there. But my school system's strange. Their firewall, even though we're whitelisted, it doesn't like the redirect for packet tracer for whatever reason. So okay, maybe I'll just need to shut everything down and then
try a different browser. If you got a different browser, just open up NetAcad and try it that way to see if it's, because just like a while ago we had two other individuals had issues with Google Chrome. So either Firefox works great, that's what I normally use, and even Internet Explorer. I can't believe it worked, but Internet Explorer worked also.
Hi, Brian. Okay, well, that may be part of my problem is I've been using exclusively Google Chrome, just because I have. But yeah, I'll give that a try. Although my system's a Google school or system, but.
Hey, Brian in history. This is Jessica Shaffer. I use Google Chrome as well. I noticed I got invalid session when I tried to use a bookmark from the module. Yes. So logging directly into just netacad.com worked for me. I was able to overcome that, and it would ask me to log in.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Again, I apologize. I have no clue why it's calling me history, unless.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry.
At the top,
no, you're fine. It's just I when I first logged in, I went, "Who's H?"
At the top of the screen where your name is, should be 3 little dots. You can rename your login.
It's just been that kind of day. So okay.
All right. Anybody else? And then before I go, I wasn't able to get on today with a chat session during the day. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to get on maybe about 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30, and try to stay on for about an hour. So if you're having issues, you still can't get on in the morning, I'll work with you individually, or we can have a long check like this. So either way.
Okay. Yeah, I just, I've got to stop the slide to the right in terms of getting behind on these assignments. So okay, I'll do that. I'll try a couple of different things, up to and including a reboot, and then try a different browser and see what I can do. I've not had problems in the past with my home access, just work. And maybe that's my problem is I started it at work and just, closed my laptop and ran home. So that might be part of my problem.
John, I just reset yours and it's Cisco 123 all lowercase. Rachel, the chat session is, I'm going to open up another Zoom and I'll share out the link to the Zoom meeting, and then whoever can get on tomorrow if you have any problems. I'm going to try to do it every other day. So we'll have our meetings on Monday and Wednesdays, and I'll try to have just a separate 1 hour availability or more if needed to work with everyone. Am I missing anybody? If you feel like you're behind in this course, you're not, okay? Getting logged into NetAcad, getting logged into NetLabs, getting used to use Packet Tracer, that's time consuming. So that is be a majority of the module 1, 2, and 3. You'll feel like you're behind, but you'll be able to catch up very easily. Our due dates are not set in stone. That means if you don't have it turned in, you get a 0. This is not the way we do this course for instructors. We want to work with you, each of you individually. Even though we set a date, that's just kind of a date to help you, to guide you through the 8-week course. That way you're not doing everything at once. So if you get a little bit behind, it's okay. Not a big deal.
Hey, Brian, quick question.
Okay.
I'm still at the tail end of module 2. I
Okay.
am new to networking. How much of these codes and stuff do I have to memorize? Do I need to be taking notes? Am I overkilling the studying?
So chapter 2, that's you're going to get so used to doing the commands that the basic commands will kind of stick with you. When you get in the second and third course, it gets more intense. I'm at the point when I take a course that I take a lot of notes anyway. I handwrite stuff, or I'll type notes. That way I can have I'm kind of trying to memorize as much as I can while I'm writing, and then I've got that visual image in my head. Even if I miss something, it's easier for me to go back. The course itself it's laid out very well. I mean, I think it's a lot better than it was. They keep making good progress with the course content. So module 2, yeah, there's some, you probably need to, you're okay. And I advise you to take your notes. But you'll see as you move through the course, you can take less and less notes. Let me just say this. This course, okay, is pretty much used to be our. If someone took CCNA and they didn't dedicate themselves, especially for curriculum students, and they didn't understand that it's time consuming. You got to put your time in. I used to say this was a weed out course. Somebody that's not interested in networking would get through 4 or 5, maybe 6 chapters. It used to be chapters. And then when it got to IPv4 addressing, it just over their head, and they didn't want to put any more time in. Cisco luckily not dumbed down the material, but moved some of the material out of CCNA up to CCNP, and even removed some content that just was null and void. So the content's easier to follow now than it was just a year and a half, 2 years ago, for sure.
Right.
Go ahead.
You're going to invest into a MacBook Pro. Will there be some complications utilizing a MacBook Pro with this course?
I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't think so, because let's see. No, because you can do Cisco, you can do Packet Tracer on there. No, you shouldn't have any issue. Everything is HTML based, so you should be fine using a Mac. I don't use MacBook or MacBook Pro because I'm just not a Mac person. I would love to be. I just don't have the time to go back and use something like that right now. But
the only complication would be that the written materials are usually directed towards Windows or even Linux in most cases, and you'd have to figure out the equivalent on Mac. That would be the only challenge.
What equipment? What do you mean?
Like if you're using on Windows, you use PuTTY. On Linux, you'd use just a regular bash shell or something like that. That kind of stuff.
So for the course, though, for this course, you're going to be doing everything through Cisco Packet Tracer. You don't have to have PuTTY or use PuTTY on your PC to get out. Now you would if you're connecting to Real Gear at your school and you have a kind of a hands-on location. But in NetLabs and in Packet Tracer, the way that this course is laid out, you shouldn't have any issues connecting to anything. So,
Okay. All right. Thanks.
one thing that we did notice today, make sure you got the newest Packet Tracer version. Make sure you've got 8.1.1 Packet Tracer. If you don't, and I bet I haven't even installed it. I'm at home, so I bet it's not even up to date here. I'll probably need to update it here. Also remember, everything you do with Cisco is it follows you. Your account follows you wherever you go. Cisco.com to NetAcad, even the Skills for All. If you take a course through Skills for All, your same username and password will work for that too. So I'm at, let's see, stop my share.
Hey, Brian, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't seem to find the link to get back, like how you were showing the course material a while ago. The content hub.
Okay, all right, I'll show you that. So in Cisco, at the top of the Cisco Packet Tracer, where you got File, Edit, where you can save your File and you save your Packet Tracer after you got it complete. Over to the far right, there's a Help button. This is where you'll check to see if you what version of Packet Tracer you're running. So it's actually 8.1.1 is the newest one, and I'm already behind. I've got 8.1.0. So I'll have to uninstall this Packet Tracer and go to a.
No, I was talking about the content hub for the course.
Okay.
Where you'd get the link for that. I just can't seem to find it.
All right, so I'm talking about. Talking about from within this screen, within this page.
Yeah.
Okay, so each of the top of your modules will have modules 1, 2, 3, your course content here, and it'll be at the top of every new section.
Okay, so it's the very top. Okay.
Yep. So
thank you.
Once you open that, then it opens to it'll start at 1, but just go down to the module you're working on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see. Anybody else with password issues? Did we firm up the best selection for text? Michael showed us last week. This is what he's got. This is the one. Why it's blurry? But it's from Cybex, SYBEX. It's Understanding Cisco Network Topologies. I'll share that out in the email to everyone. Let's see, we've got about 30 minutes. So let me know how I can help. Do I need to go over some content? Do we work on a lab? I know some of you are still in chapter 2. You need help with the command lines. Please talk to me.
Hey, Brian, for me, it's just time. I'm about done with second module, but and I'm going snail's pace and soaking it all up, answering all the questions and putting them in a Word document and all that. So it's just, yeah, I'll get there, but I'm the tortoise.
Oh, that's fine. All right, so.
No, you're not, John. I'm in the same spot.
So for me, I teach networking and I teach cybersecurity, but I have to unlearn some of this because Cisco's not doing it the same, A, as I did in practice with Netgear, and B, just for the generic networks.
Yeah,
so,
true. Yeah. Cisco's unique, but Cisco's, and I'll say that we've always kind of classified them as kind of the gold standards of the way their technology, like they created the LMS and shared their information out to students and instructors. It's for a reason. They want to train individuals as quickly as they can and not have to pay for their training. So if schools pick up this course content and students learn it, then they're a stepping stone to actually working for Cisco. So we understand why they've done that. I wish I had some better ideas of what to unlearn or definitely learn.
That's okay. The whole config, the EN, the config T, global versus line versus interface. I'm still struggling with that because no other switch that I know of has that.
Actually, Dell switches are using that also too. It surprised me that we got a set of Dell switches in, and they're almost exact with Cisco iOS. So let's just go over Lab 2.38 and we'll talk about.
And I think the Aruba switches, they were using it at one point. I don't know if they're still doing so.
Aruba switches. Okay.
So unless the instructions say, type in IF or whatever, or line, I would not know to type that in.
Okay. All right, can you see my packet tracer? So what question on 2.38? I know we'll talk about the command line, explain 238. So 238, they brought in the physical interface here. And this is just, it's been around for a long time. It's just, it wasn't used, and Cisco didn't really force anybody to use it until now. They want to give you that. So if a student sees a switch or sees the ports on it, they know what type of switch it is. They know what type of router it is just by looking at it. So that's why they're forcing everybody to kind of do the physical mode instead of the logical mode. Now, we can't use the logical mode here, but instead of a physical location where we're at here, it would just be an icon, whether it's PC, whether it's a switch, and it'd show you the network connection, how it's all connected. With this, this one, let's see if it'll let us see here. All right, so kind of to start with, it's asking you to install and investigate a 2960. So the way this is set up, here's your shelf, basically equipment that it's wanting you to drag over and put into either the rack or on the table. So the 2960 is here, and if you select it, you've got the 24 ports here, and those are, I think 2960, those are 100 meg ports, and then you got 2 gig ports here. And then the back of it, this is your, you have your power and then your console connection here. So we'll drag a 2960 over to the switch, to the rack, and it says they're automatically connected to power. So we'll bring the power on. It's on.
Brian?
Go ahead.
The main question I have with this is the lab. It's in the lab section, and it says navigating the iOS using term for constant connectivity. And it says use packet tracer file. But when you go to this portion where you're at, it doesn't talk about the term thing. When you go to the actual lab portion for the term, and it has instructions on there that is not included in packet tracer that I find, where it says, oh, go to the start menu and go here and here. Like I don't see any of that in the packet tracer file.
So when I did this, I called actually Dr. Benson and said help, because it said use packet tracer or that Terra thing.
Yeah, that's why it does it. I mean, this lab is a prime example of TerraTerm is not, it's really not even very easily to download. Basically, TerraTerm is just like PuTTY. We were talking about earlier. It's just a a console connection, a connection from a PC to a switch. I use a DB9 connect cable. It's got an RJ45 on the other, basically a crossover cable. And that's how you would get into the switch itself. This is if you had a PC and a switch sitting in front of you, which I don't here at the house. I need one, but I don't have one. So all it's doing is they talk about TerraTerm, but I wish they talked about PuTTY instead. For some reason, they keep talking about TerraTerm, and I don't like it. I wish they were using PuTTY. But they would connect the DB9 connection to the back of the laptop, run the console cable, the other end to the console port, and then open up here. You'd open up TerraTerm as the software. But for me at home, I use PuTTY, and I hope my screen's not too big. I'm just going to share my whole screen. I use PuTTY. So PuTTY is, I would go to a serial connection. If this was my laptop that I'm sitting at now, which I'm on the desktop, and I was connected to the console, the switch powered on, I would select serial and then select open. But I don't have a connection to it. I'm not connected to a actual switch itself. This one, because you don't have access to TerraTerm, the only thing you don't have comparing to the packet tracer is you don't have that TerraTerm software, and then you're not actually physically plugging in a cable. But here, you should be able to go from the PC, which I'll let's just go drag this PC over, and then we'll do that's a console cable. So I'll select it and go to from the RS-232 out to the console port. And now I'll select that, go to the desktop, power it on. Go to the terminal window. Basically, from where we're sitting at here is after you plugged in the cable, which I just plugged in the PC to the switch, I'm actually just opening up. It's like TerraTerm, but it's just the terminal session. And you got to have set up just like this and hit OK. And now I am in that switch. Okay. So that's the difference between the lab that you see in that PDF compared to the packet tracer. Doing the same thing, it's just not TerraTerm. That's all I can say there. Now backing this out to why the switch levels, why the switch commands and router commands.
I can't see that at all. Is there any way you could just show your DOS screen?
All right, let me stop that.